expert joins me to talk about which top prospects the Dodgers could trade this offseason. Also, got an update on Munetaka Murakami. And will the Dodgers go big this offseason? What is the dream offseason for the Dodgers? All that more coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warren, the parade. We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 clock. Milky Magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is Dodgers Dugout Live with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. If you haven't yet, do us a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and drop a comment if you want to support every single episode. Also, a reminder that this episode is brought to you by the LA Sports Report, getting close to 5,000 subscribers in almost a month. Thing has been surging. Lakers fans, Dodgers fans, Rams, Chargers, USC, UCLA. Got a Luka Doncic jersey giveaway coming up very soon. So if you really want to support me, go to the LA Sports Report and hit the subscribe button. Also join the Discord and go to gearup.la for all the latest Dodgers t-shirts in the game. I got some comments down below. I see you guys filing in. Exciting day. I got my man Tim Rogers, my friend since 2019. Can talk baseball with this dude for hours. One of the great Dodgers ball knower. If I was gonna rank, like, I don't know, like one of the, like, he's top 10, top 5, might even be top 2, might even be 1. Tim Rogers knows ball. So when he talks about the Dodgers, the prospects, you gotta listen up when it comes to Tim. So we're gonna talk about what the Dodgers could do this offseason. What is the dream offseason? Kind of run through some of these free agents that they could go after and how all in are they, and guys like Ryan Ward, are they getting opportunities? How all in should they be? Should they trade Teoscar, Munetaka Murakami, names like that? So it's definitely a longer interview, lots of stuff packed in here, so we are going to get right into it. My man Tim Rogers from the Blue Madness Experience over on YouTube. Give him a sub, give him a follow over on the X as well. And enjoy the interview, and we'll talk a little bit. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. And today, we've got one of my favorite guests, one of the great Dodgers ball knowers in the game, a Dodgers day one. Tim Rogers joins us here on Dodgers Dugout Live. You can follow Tim at Dodgers2080, and be sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel, the Blue Madness Experience. He goes on late night, sometimes early morning, sometimes an unpredictable schedule, but he definitely lays it out on his Twitter. But Tim, thanks for rocking with us here, my man. How are you enjoying this offseason? Life is good in Dodgeland. Back-to-back titles. The sun's brighter in San Diego for you. I'm guessing the weather feels great. Food just tastes better. Am I right, Tim?
Oh, it's so good. I mean, as a person who works in San Diego, who has many, many Dodger polo shirts, and just got 2 more the other day, back-to-back polo shirts. It is a pleasure to go into work and wear the gear and just kind of strut a little bit and then ask people like, hey, are you going to be the manager of the Padres, or are you going to be in the bullpen for them? I mean, it's fun to be in San Diego right now. Hey, man, it was sketchy at the 2024 before Game 4, man. I was getting a little worried that I was going to have to move to Texas or something, or at least back up to LA, man.
It was an enemy territory, but don't worry. 1969, still no championships, the loneliest trophy case in professional sports. Man. Of course, I kid. Got a lot of friends that are Padres fans. I'm still trying to convert them. All right, Tim, look, I love winning World Series titles. I was giving myself maybe an extra day or so to enjoy this one. And then my mind shifted to the offseason, to free agency, because like I say on my show, championships are built in the offseason. By the way, though, the Kopech Edmund trade, hey, that's one of the sneakiest in-season trades that led to a championship. But the Dodgers have a lot of questions, and I've seen you do some episodes on the relievers, on the bullpen, and what the Dodgers need to do for that. I think the big question there is, how big do you go? Now, the most recent rumors say that the Dodgers aren't all the way in on an Edwin Diaz. They're not going to give him 5 years and 80 to 100 million, something in that territory. But where do you stand on Edwin Diaz? And do you think the Dodgers should prioritize getting their bullpen work done the offseason so you avoid having to make a trade during the regular season?
Well, I think I texted you this. I said Edwin Diaz or give me Edwin Diaz or give me death. I mean, that's gosh, think about it. It's game 7 and you got to protect a 1-run lead. Who do you want coming out of that bullpen door? Do you want Edwin Diaz or do you want Robert Suarez, Pete Fairbanks, Tanner Scott? I mean, come on. It's Edwin Diaz. That's the guy. And we've talked about this a million times. The window, we got a window. And right now it's nice and wide open. I don't care, as you all know, I don't care about the money. It's not my money. But if Edwin Diaz helps us get another World Series in this window, come on, dynasty. Let's keep building that dynasty.
Not only dynasty, I've said it before on my show, if they win the World Series next season, this is the best 3-year run we've ever seen from any team in the history of Major League Baseball. I know the 98 Yankees won a total of 125 games, but they beat the lowly San Diego Padres in the World Series. I mean, you look at the runs that they've been on, the teams that they've beaten, especially the 2025 run, 2 wild card games. The Phillies that were the trendy team to beat the Dodgers, favored to beat the Dodgers, the best record in the sport. The Brewers, you swept them, then you went on the road to start off the World Series and beat the top-seeded Blue Jays team in the American League. So if you have this next season where Edwin Diaz, like you point out, closes out the NLDS, closed out the NLCS, closed out the World Series, he gets big saves, it doesn't really matter what happens in years 3 or 4 or 2 or 3. That 1 year was totally worth it. Now, I think if you are the Dodgers, it does feel like they are handling this in a smart way, because I think that they're making it feel as if they're treating him as if, okay, we are your team if your market collapses. I don't think the Dodgers are that. I think the fact that they were aggressive on Devin Williams, a guy that ultimately signed for more than $40 million, tells you that they're willing to spend more than just $25 to $30 million on a top-end reliever. So I think that the Dodgers are smart because they realize that the Mets don't want to give him 5 years. And now that that's out there, I think the Dodgers are positioning themselves to still potentially make a move on Edwin Diaz. I'm not saying it's a lock, but I think they're doing more than just hovering around like some big free agents that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I agree. Look, after 2024, what was the big weakness in that World Series for the Dodgers? It was starting pitching. They ran out of pitching. They had nobody left after if Walker didn't get that done. This year we go, well, gosh, the starting pitching was really good, but man, we were using starters as relievers. I still think of Justin Robleski as a starter. Roki Sasaki's a starter. Emmet Sheehan's a starter. They were using all those starters. That was their bullpen, was a bunch of starters with a little bit of things sprinkled in here and there, but it was all starters. I think they're going to go, hey, that was a weakness. We got to fix that. And so that's what I think they do. I mean, Suarez, I think he's pretty darn good, but I don't know, man. Just go look it up. Some of the couple postseason home runs he's given up. I'm just.
Yeah, you already pointed out, Tim, that you texted me something about Edwin Diaz. You also texted me something about Robert Suarez as well, and just his ability or inability to not be that guy when the pressure's on, when the lights are the brightest. And I think that has to be something that they'll learn from last offseason. And I'm a big Tanner Scott's going to bounce back guy just because the velocity's there, the movement profile is still there. It's can you get things right in between the years? But I think that from year to year, the Dodgers are probably going to say to themselves, hey, the numbers are the numbers, but can they handle the pressure of being a Los Angeles Dodger. The market, what comes with signing a big contract. Here's something I was thinking of this morning is, as you pointed out, this team, as great as that starting pitching was, as great as Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, and Shohei Ohtani were, all guys that pitched in Game 7 of the World Series, mind you, as great as they were, Roki Sasaki emerging and being that guy that can handle the ninth was one of the big reasons why they were successful, and they did avoid collapses against the Phillies. How about this? If everyone stays healthy, always a big if in starting pitching, right?
Yep.
Yamamoto, Shohei, Glasnow, if they hold on to him, there's been some rumors about them being him being a trade target. I don't necessarily think they're going to do that.
Only for Scooble.
Only for Scooble. Only for an equal pitcher, because pitching is a premium. But then you got Blake Snell. If all those guys stay healthy, even if Roki has a really good year and a much better showing that he had last year, which I expect if he's healthy, and I think the confidence, it feels like there's like a weight lifted off his shoulder after his postseason performance. Even if he does have a good year, you can't really justify starting him against any of those guys if they're right. So how about this? Roki, 6-man rotation, start him through the regular season, postseason rolls around, and then it's Roki in the bullpen, like we saw Kenta Maeda a few years back, right? But a better version of that. So I don't know. I'm just kind of floating it out there as a way to say, hey, maybe we do have that guy. We go out there, get Robert Suarez. We'll debate on that. Kenley Jansen's lying around. And then you hope Tanner Scott bounces back. And then, look, this team has pitchers that emerge, whether it be starters, whether it be relievers, whether it be starters that perform like relievers, like in the last couple of years. But that could be a possibility in my eyes as well.
Yeah, and don't forget Gavin Stone and River Ryan. Can you imagine River Ryan in the bullpen? Oh my gosh, he's coming in at 100. I mean, he would be nasty, and he's got the stones to do it. I guarantee that.
Well, I think it's Gavin that's got the stones for, but River runs deep for him, but he can go deep.
You got me there, man.
But no, you set me up on a tee for that one. Couldn't not do it. But that's really interesting that you bring those names up too, because we mentioned all those starters. We mentioned Yoshi, who pitched over 200 innings last season, regular season and postseason combined. Blake Snell dealt with some issues, missed most of the regular season. Glasnow missed significant time. Shohei, they were extremely cautious with him coming off a second major arm surgery. They're going to, I think, be very creative with the way they're going to let Gavin Stone and River Ryan and any of these young guns that can come and perform. Hey, you guys get your rocks off. You guys get your experience. You get your innings in the regular season, and we are going to pace these guys out like we saw in 2025. I feel like the depth is everything with starters. It's just everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't want to see, I love to watch the guy pitch. I don't want to see Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound until June. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you're right about the innings. And we know Tyler Glasnow, the guy, hey, let him pitch 100 innings during the regular season. I really don't care. It's about October. And I think we've adjusted, and some of the fans, a lot of the fans have adjusted, go, hey, you know what? It's 162 tryout for October. That's what it's all about. We know they're going to get there unless things really go south, but they've got the talent. I mean, that's what the big money's for, right? It's to keep that going. They've got all those guys, and they've got that minor league depth. Or not, they're not minor leaguers. I'm sorry. Gavin Stone and River Ryan and Justin Robleski, those are major league pitchers that deserve to be in a rotation or in a bullpen with the Dodgers.
So if you don't go big on Edwin Diaz, you've got $87 million coming off the books. You're printing money, all the success, the deferrals. We know this team is as financially committed as any team in all of professional sports. Then where do you allocate those resources? I mean, if you sign a Suarez, it's like a 2 years, $28 million, guys like that, if they kind of dip into those waters potentially, then where does the money go? Because you look at Kyle Tucker. That to me, I'm just going down the list. You tell me if you're in or out on some of these other free agents. And I'll start with Kyle Tucker. And if you are in, under what circumstances?
Kyle Tucker, 4 years, $200 million. It's one of those deals.
With
whatever it takes. I don't see him as a 10-year guy. I just don't. I mean, I use this. if you had a police lineup and Kyle Tucker was in it, would you know Kyle Tucker was even in there? He doesn't quite fit that Dodger vibe in terms of that big money stuff, but boy, he's a really good player.
Yeah, I love that you point that out. It's a good visual, and it really hammers home kind of the kind of players that ultimately sign here, where there's all the stats, there's all the performance, but there's just that extra sauce that guys who get those contracts with the Dodgers have. What I've been saying about Kyle Tucker is you can't give a dude $300 to $400 million and have him be your 10th best selling jersey. Okay. Yeah. Like, let's be honest, right? Kike would outsell Kyle Tucker, right? I mean,
yeah.
And this is no slight to Kyle Tucker. He's not kind of one of those guys. And for me, look, there's a couple ways around it. I mean, you could probably say maybe back in the day, Mike Trout wasn't the most, charismatic guy, but he was so great. And he did so many things at the very highest level. And when you do things that are better than everyone else, you kind of overcome some of those other things. And the thing about Kyle Tucker is there's not just one area where he's in the conversation for being the best in baseball at. He does a lot of things really, really well, but I'm with you. I think that, look, if his market collapses and he wants to sign with the Dodgers, reset his market a little bit with some opt-outs, maybe you consider it. Only thing I think, though, he's with XL, not the Boris Corp, and those are the kind of guys that tend to do those deals. I feel like, look, he saw last year he has had some injuries throughout his career, and ones that aren't these season enders necessarily, but ones where he ends up staying out longer than most players do. I think he's just going to get the biggest bag that he could possibly get, and he's going to live with that. And I think that the Blue Jays are a team that, hey, look, you can't get Shohei. He's a Dodger. You can't get Yoshi. We're top shelf dudes, right? Yep. But you can get the shelf underneath it, and Tucker's on that shelf underneath it, and he certainly could provide quality for another team. Absolutely.
No, a really good ball player, but yeah, I mean, I think we both agree on that star power. Dodgers care about that stuff. If they're going to give $300 million they want that guy big time. They make money, and they make money not only off winning, but off of having players that are going, man, that guy's got a vibe about him.
We got to hang out with these guys for 7 months, right? Yeah. And I'm not just saying me, and us, we're, in the clubhouse, in occasionally on the field. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about even if I was just a fan watching from TV, like you're hanging out with these guys, right? And it's an entertainment factor as well. Okay, this is a big one. I love this because I have zero clue about what your stance is on this.
All right,
Cody Bellinger.
I'm more in than out.
And under what circumstances?
Can't be more than 5 years. I have one. This is my non-negotiable for the offseason. Teoscar Hernandez needs to play left field. That's my non-negotiable. And if that helps us get us there, I think it's a huge thing. I would just tell him right now he's in left field. I love Teo. I don't want to get rid of that guy. And maybe we'll talk about that later. But I'm still Bellinger is not 2019 Bellinger. We know this. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm in. He still can play good defense, and that matters. Defense matters. I mean, going back to Teo, he did end up on the positive side, but not by much in those play in the postseason. I mean, I got about 4 or 5 runs I could say he gave up.
Look, Belly's a 5. No, he did go. I mean, like that was so funny about that run, right? I mean, the Reds game, the wild card, makes the bad play, goes off his glove, and then what happens later in the game? 2-run double to put the Dodgers ahead. The Phillies, NLDS game 1. JT Realmuto hits one towards him, makes the wrong play on it, takes a bad angle, ends up as a triple, turns into a 3-run inning, and he gets the big 3-run home run the same game. I mean, 4-hit game in the World Series. I think the thing about Teoscar, and honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I have gone back and forth in my mind about should I go all in and say that we should trade Teo? Should I be the guy that says, no, we shouldn't trade him? Should we trade him under the right circumstances? And what I always remember is we're kind of getting, and look, this is an offense that scored less than 4 runs in the postseason, and they won largely on the backs of their starting pitching and some timely hitting in big moments. But still, timely hitting outweighs overall run production in the postseason. And we are old enough to remember that the biggest reason why the Dodgers mostly lost throughout this run was because they couldn't hit in October. Because it takes a specific type of hitter, one that not only is talented, but can handle the moments. And I just don't think there's that many dudes out there that can do that. Like Cody Bellinger's had his moments in the postseason, so also had extremely long droughts. And I think Teo is so valuable, but I'm with you. He has to be in left field. And even then, in left field, he's got to be about 20 to 25% above league average with his defense to provide value. Because, look, let's be honest. It is a guy that was a one-WAR player, something around that. He's got to perform better. But here's a question I have for you. Knowing that he dealt with injuries last year, he had the groin, the adductor, really struggled in right field. 33 out of 36 for right fielders, outs above average. I mean, he was just bottom of the barrel defensively. Knowing that, and you're Teo, you know that you got to be a DH, right? Do you think there's a little bit of, hey, man, like, I won 2 World Series here. Like, is there kind of a little bit of a do right by Teo maybe to put him in a situation that he could be on a team that has the DH open? Because there's just no DH opportunity for him on this team.
Yeah, we got that guy Ohtani. He's not too bad.
Solid.
But you got to, he's kind of solid. But if you look at one of my biggest concerns about trading Teo, forget them. Well, I don't want to forget the chemistry or even the postseason stuff. But there's a thing where the Dodgers' right-handed power doesn't feel that strong. And now part of it is shaded by Mookie Betts having a rough year overall. He had 20. Now, if Mookie Betts is hitting 30, but Will Smith's going to sit a little less than a third of the games. And then Pages, hopefully 25, 30 home runs. But I just feel it's a little losing Teo would really hurt in that way. Especially because I go, man, I love having Teo like when he bats 6th. I just think it's like, whoa, that's deep. But
I agree. And it almost feels too, Tim, doesn't it almost feel to you like since they brought back Miggy and since they picked up Muncie's club, it almost feels like all signs point to a run it back type of approach. And that would be the case with Teo.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that because the Dodgers can pivot if they need to. That's why that's why there's a 6-month season for them to deal with those things. They could pivot if they need to. Sure. So and they've got enough, hopefully enough. If they have to, they can give up some prospect capital, which we'll probably talk about. But there is a run it back, and these guys deserve it. I mean, and it's like, well, we're bringing back a World Series hero, and people are like, he's too old. Oh, stop. Just stop. Look what he did. No one else. I got to be game 6 when he caught that ball basically behind him. That was the most impressive thing. It wasn't the home run or anything else. It was that. No one else makes that play other than Miguel Rojas. And then you go, well, Max Muncy, look what he did in game 7. He had 3 hits, including that home run off of the guy that no one else could hit in game 5. So, I'm all for run it back. If guys get hurt, they get hurt. And we got some depth in there to handle that with guys like Hae-Sung Kim and Alex Freeland. So, and even maybe Ryan Ward, the long-lost guy that should have been on the 40-man roster quite a long time ago. But
yeah, we'll definitely get your thoughts on Ryan Ward. By the way, you mentioned Max Muncy hitting that home run off Trey Savage in that 8th inning. I watched the Backstage Dodgers recap of the World Series. I was shocked they didn't include that home run. It was such an important moment. They were as dead in the water in that 8th inning as they were in the 9th inning. And Savage had become this folk hero, one of the storylines. And yeah, look, I mean, hey, there's so many great moments, and you're always going to leave something out. But hey, I just hope that home run doesn't get forgotten in Dodgers lore. And Max Muncy is a big part of that. But you did say pivot. And the Dodgers currently are the betting favorites, which is done to encourage betting, by the way. So as we put that out there, for Munetaka Murakami, third baseman out of Japan. We know this guy's a prolific slugger. He hits the ball hard when he connects. He misses pitches in the zone at a high rate, and that usually doesn't translate well or bode well for your chances in the show. But the talent is extremely tantalizing. There's a lot of questions if he can be an everyday third baseman at this level, and he profiles more as a first baseman and a DH, and he did play one game in the outfield. But Do you have any interest in Munetaka Murakami, Tim?
A guy that can crush the ball like him, you got to at least be interested, right? We actually had a guy, Brandon too. He was on our channel last week, and we went into a lot of details, and he knows a lot of that stuff. And he said the defense on Murakami, it's legit bad at third base. And he's not as that. So Max Muncy was a bad third baseman, but he is athletic as heck. That dude is such a good athlete. You look at him, you go, what? Yes, he's an amazing athlete for what he can do. Murakami's not athletic like that, but he is a slugger. And it's like, what do you do? I don't know, man. I don't think they get him. I think he's a Seattle Mariner or someone like that. But
yeah,
I'm so intrigued.
A Yankee, a Mariner potentially, and like you've seen, there's been some comms, him and Joey Gallo with some of the boom and bust in his swing.
Yeah,
he is young enough to where if you did sign him to a longer term deal, of course you got to have a spot for him. Mm-hmm. That power is tough to teach if it translates at all. Doesn't feel like this is the guy, right. But I mean, if there's a Japanese player that's willing to sign here, and Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, you're like, hey, let's go. Yeah. It would be tough to imagine them not at least explore the possibility, I guess I should say.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's those Dodgers are the attraction. I mean, that's the place you want to be. That is the team you want to be at. If you're from Asia, you're Japanese or Korean. I mean, geez, look what happens. I mean, the Dodgers they go to Korea in 2024. They go to Japan in 2025. The ratings for the World Series was outstanding in Japan. So, I mean, it's the place to be. But hey, there's only so many roster spots at the end of the day. I believe in a 50-man roster, by the way. I don't even care about people. Don't you love it, the people that are worried about 40-man rosters and 26-man roster spots right now? It just cracks me up.
Hey, it's that part of the offseason, man. You got to find something to keep you excited. I think for me, on an in or out scale of Murakami, I think I would put it like a 6.4 just because it's tough for me to not. I like his age. I like the fact that he turns 26 in February, and he's nicknamed the Babe Ruth of Japan. I think there's just something there to where if you could sign him, there's a possibility that you could turn him into something. And we know that, look at here, we just talked about Teoscar Hernandez, right? The Dodgers always overlook defense if you're special at hitting. And a lot of guys are not special, right? They can't flirt with the idea of special. But Murakami, I'm not saying he's going to be special, but there are things there that are like special adjacent to where if he would be willing to sign with you and he did sign with the Mariners and hits 40 home runs, and the Yankees, you're kind of saying, oh, did we regret not bringing him in when he was right there?
Yeah, and the Dodgers, they have the money to waste. Let's be honest.
There you go.
And how many times? They bet on upside all the time. What do you think their drafts are? They kind of have to do that. And so I get where you're at, because you're going, well, it's tough to get talent, and especially extraordinary talent, and to get an 80 grade power guy. I could. It wouldn't surprise me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I agree. No one will be shocked by it. Okay, let's kind of switch to some trade possibilities. I've been big time on the Byron Buxton trade. He played 26 games last year. He was durable. He was a 5+ WAR player, someone that made the All-Star team, 36% above average as a bat. He plays great defense, has power. It really is one of the most underrated players in the league because he plays in Minnesota and he gets injured. He's got kind of right below an MVP level talent. He's got that. Like he's someone that's up there. Talk me out of Byron Buxton. It feels like you're going to.
Talk you out of him?
Oh, you want him?
Oh gosh, I want him bad.
Oh, there we go. All right, let's go.
Gosh. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, again, top level talent. And we only need him for 100 games maybe during the regular season. We need him for October. I mean, my gosh, he changes the game with he makes Teo a better left fielder because he's covering the ground. The athletic ability, everything's up. Oh man, if you say, can you have Kyle Tucker or Byron Buxton? It's easily Byron Buxton. Yeah, I'm all in. I don't know what we'd have to give up for him. That would really hurt.
Well, here's the thing, though, Tim. Yeah. No trade clause. He's got a no trade clause. And I think that works in the Dodgers' favor potentially if he's willing to waive it. And that is what the earlier reports have been. And who knows if that is going to involve some type of mini extension, which sometimes it does involve. He's still owed 2 years, $45 million. We know why you weren't able to get Erod a couple years ago. Had nothing to do with Los Angeles. Had everything to do with not getting some extension potentially. But yeah, you list out those pros there. Offensively, he's a plus. Defensively, not only is he great, but he supplements Teo's bad defense if you're going to keep him, and you upgrade your defense in right field with Andy Pages. You can legit look right now. There's no Gold Glovers in the outfield for the Dodgers. None. Not even close. Last year, not even close. Next year, if you would trade for Byron Buxton right away, you would have 2 guys, one in center and one in right field, that could be Gold Glove caliber. And yeah, you can and guess what? Teo will carry his part of he'll carry his weight at the plate. And I think too, I think that Teo was injured. He was playing through something for a long stretch. I think that he can play passable defense and left. That's all I'm asking for. So I agree with you 100% on, and that's a great point. I love that not only is he great, but it kind of makes you feel better about keeping Teo and not exploring a trade for him.
Yeah, and Pages becomes really a platinum type right fielder. And and props to Pages. That dude from the beginning of the season until the middle to end of the season, he got so much better in center field. Did I say Teo earlier? But I meant Pages if I did. Props to that guy for becoming a really darn good center fielder. But man, he's so good and right. You just look at his outs above replacement or outs above average replacement. You look at those advanced metrics in right field. He's going to give Tatis a run for his money for that Gold Glove and Platinum Glove.
No doubt about it. I mean, this is a guy that has a special cannon of an arm. I think the range too, the athleticism is underrated. I think too, if Dodgers fans are screaming for this team to get younger, keeping Pages in the fold keeps you younger, right? Okay, next guy, Jarren Duran. Are you a Jarren Duran guy? He's interesting. Not above average defense.
Well, so here we go.
Boston.
Boston. But I swear that I was not in on him. Then I did a little research and got some tips from some smart people on my channel. And last in 2025, his defense rated pretty poorly. That was in left field. The year before in center field, though, he was really good. And then it was like the tip off is, man, it's the stupid green monster. You're playing against a handball court that's 250 feet from home plate. I mean, it's just the ball. It's just a crazy place to play on. But his numbers in 2024, offensively and defensively, gosh, what a good player he is. They talk about platoon splits, okay. And then there's some people they were saying that, he doesn't hustle. Then I go do the little research. Like, no, dude was 2025 Heart and Hustle Player of the Year for Boston. So he seems, and the fans seem to love him. I know he's had some issues. We know he's had some issues, and you just got to throw the question mark up there. But he's also owned up to his issues, to whatever it was. And so I don't know, man. I don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting if that's something that the Dodgers do gauge, because they certainly look at everything when evaluating a player. I was talking to some Boston reporters, and they told me that if they're going to trade Jarren Duran, they're going to want to get some big league ready players in return. And one name I was given was Tyler Glasnow. And I'm here to tell you, you don't trade Tyler Glasnow for Jarren Duran because you just don't have that many top 10 guys that are available. So I'm holding on to that guy. Like you said, it's for another starting pitcher. I think Duran is behind Buxton for me, obviously, based on kind of the things we've laid out. But the only issue I have with Duran is, yes, he did have the down year. Yes, I think that the Green Monster is a big part of that. But he's less of a sure thing in a year where you need a sure thing because of the guys in their primes, because you're going for the 3-peat, right? So I think that's the other thing, too, because you're committed to him. And there's a world where Jarren Duran makes the all-star team. He's instantly going to be a fan favorite. Ladies are going to love him, right? Fans are going to think he's electric. The triples, the speed, the arm value, a lot of tools. I'd be happy. I'd be excited if they traded for Jarren Duran, as long as it's not for a Tyler Glasnow. but I do think that the floor isn't as high as a Byron Buxton.
Absolutely. No, Buxton is gosh, I'd love to have that guy.
Yeah,
How
he's
fun
a
would that be?
So your response to the negative people, or the people that are saying that their big negative knock on him, your response to the injury prone stuff, it sounds to me as, hey, yeah, maybe if you're a team that needed to play 140 games, it'd be a bad situation. The Dodgers give us 100, 120, make sure you're right for October, and then they help us win, and that's all we ask of you.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not the Padres.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I mean, that's just, that's I look at that with the starting pitching. I look at that with, Edmund coming back from his injury, or Kike, if I think they will resign him, put him on the 60-day IL. But it's like there's going to be a lot of room for a lot of playing time. We've seen it over the last few years. The Dodgers lead the league in many things, including the injured list. And so there's plenty of room for that. And it gives other guys opportunities. And then the Dodgers and they really did a good job this year, making sure Glass was ready, Snell was ready. They had him ready to go. And so, and Ohtani too, right? They really slow rolled that. People were whining, why isn't he pitching more? Because it's about October. It's not about July.
No doubt about it. They learned their lessons from those insane seasons in 22 and 21. And it's like, hey, no one cares about the 106 to the 111. They care about, well, in this case, 13 and 11 for the last couple of years. Those wins you get in October, and Tim rocking that beautiful World Series champions hat. Okay, this is another one that I think sparks a pretty interesting debate. Steven Kwan. So they were linked with Steven Kwan in the regular season at the trade deadline. They were linked with him early on this offseason. He's younger. He's got a couple years of team control. We know in left field, he's got one of, if not the strongest arms in left field in baseball. He doesn't grade out at above average in center field or right field. Doesn't hit the ball hard, but he hits for contact, so he could bring that dynamic to the offense, that bat to ball. Where are you at on Steven Kwan, Tim? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your all-in ranking on him for Steven Kwan?
It's a 3. He's a left fielder. I don't need a left fielder. I have one. It's number 37. And then you go, now if he was competent, if we knew that he could play a good center field or right field, then okay. But still, it's like, man, do we really want a weak contact bat like that in there? I don't know. I mean, it's one of those, I'd rather if I'm going to give up some serious talent, because it's going to take serious talent to get any of these guys, he's low on my list. But I like him as a player. I like contact guys, but dang, man, it just doesn't work for me.
I think for me, if the offensive profile, and he had a down year offensively, he could bounce back for sure.
Yeah.
But I think even if you like the offensive profile, and I think that they have enough sluggers in this lineup to kind of mix it up with a guy like Steven Kwan, and I certainly would welcome that in the lineup. But you and I are on the same page, and it starts and ends with he's a left fielder. He's only going to be a plus defender in left field. And one, you're not going to provide as much value there as right field or center field. And then two, that's a position that I think you need to maintain some flexibility with just a little bit. Even if you move Teo there, you almost have to bake in, okay, he's going to miss 30 games, right? With his age, maybe a groin here, hamstring there. Like it happens with guys like that this stage of their careers. Dalton Rushing has been a guy that Brandon Gomes said they might try in left field when Kike Hernandez comes back. I mean, where is he going to play? I'm sure you'll see some infield for him. He'll pitch. He'll put the pitching helmet on, things like that. But I'm with you. I don't understand the fascination with Steven Kwan. When you look at all the numbers, when you look at where he plays defensively, I will say, I'll take it to my grave. I still believe if Emmanuel Clase does not bet on baseball, I think that's where they had laid the groundwork for the mega trade. I think it was Clase and Kwan, and then the Dodgers would have given up some big prospects, because that's what they do. You get 2 for 1, 2 for 2, 2 for 3. But I think once that went out the door, then there was no chance of it. I mean, we'll never know, but it does feel like there was something there. Now, as far as the prospects, you got the host way to, oh my goodness, the Dodgers Dugout live hat. Oh my, that means everything. Tim wearing that. This is the advertisement of a lifetime.
Had to do it.
That you look fresh. You look fresh. It's a banger of a hat, man.
Not
I
planned,
love that.
folks.
I need
Not
to get a
planned.
Blue Madness hat. Man.
It's just Doug is surprised.
I love that, man. Hey, you wear my hat, I'll get a Blue Madness tattoo. Okay, like that's how I'll pay it back. But as far as the prospect capital in return, right? I think you look at this Dodgers farm system. Yes, they're ranked, depending on where you look, right towards the top, right? But as far as the guys that you would prefer to hold on to versus the guys you want to move, are guys like Josue DePaula and Zaire Hope and Jackson Ferris, are all those guys available for the outfield trade, or are those guys that you just would keep in the event that an ultra elite player becomes available? A Tarek Skubal, later down the line, a Paul Skeens, someone in that category. Just kind of how much do you value holding on the top prospects in the Dodgers farm system this offseason, Tim?
I'm a known prospect hugger. You know this. However, you know what's better than prospects? Parades.
Parades of a prospect, baby.
Doug. We've been to 2 of them, my friend, and it's been a blast. And I enjoy that. So I'm much more open to this. And the other thing I'm open to trading them for is because I want them to get a chance to play. That's one of the things that you go, hey, these guys, they're working hard and they're blocked. And the Dodgers rightfully are going for it as much as they can. And they keep doing it, guys. But if they're going to make some trades, I would put it this way. We need to hold on to as much of our major league pitching as possible, I believe. Even if we're getting, if we do trade a pitcher, we need to get one as good or better back. And I'm even including the River Ryans and the Gavin Stones, the guys coming off injuries, who I think are really freaking good and are going to get a lot of time. But anyone who's not been in the major leagues has got to be more available than some of those other guys. Freeland is kind of, maybe, and we know they love rushing, and I really hope that they keep him, but only keep him if you're going to give him 400 at bats or plate appearances. If not, you got to trade him. It's only fair. So when you start talking about, Mike Salas and I just went through the Fangraphs top 52 Dodgers prospects, and it's like there's so much to like. DePaula is their number 1 guy. He's also my number 1 guy. I'm going to be honest with you. I love the hit tool. Zaire Hope, there's so much talent there. Eduardo Quintero, these guys, some of these guys may have that top value. Which one of all these guys that are really high ranked, which one is Diego Cartaya? Where you wish you would have traded him. So the Dodgers hopefully are figuring out, hey, what's the top level? How do we put one over on another team? Because they do that quite a bit. I still look at that Red Sox trade for Dustin May. They really put one over on them on that one. Got a couple really good prospects, but they are loaded in the outfield. And they do have, Saranowski and Jackson Ferris as 2 top lefties. Those have value, but for a team let's use the Red Sox. The Red Sox aren't giving up Duran unless they're getting people like a River Ryan or a Gavin Stone or even a Glasnow. I mean, I don't blame them for asking for really good talent. They're not giving them up for guys that are 3 years away or even a year and a half away. Boston's in it for now too. But maybe the Twins in the Buxton trade that we're hoping gets completed. They're trying to cut money and all that type of stuff. They definitely wouldn't want a Glasnow, and they probably don't want anyone that's going to be even making major league minimum the way they're talking. I mean, it sounds like they're in a lot of trouble financially. So I'm more open to trading any of those guys that are at that level. And like I said, but you got to make allowances for Freeland and Rushing, especially if they're not going to get opportunities.
Yeah, I think
for that reason.
For sure. I think one of the reasons why you think long and hard about signing Edwin Diaz is you have to forfeit the draft pick. You got to give international bonus pool money. If you do that on top of making a trade for an outfielder, then you're starting to say, okay, the system is designed for us to not have one of the better farm systems because we spend so much, because we win so much. And then you look at the sustainability, and they've mentioned that so many different times, is there's a lot of teams that have a 2-year run, they fall off. They don't want to fall off. They want the best of both worlds. They want sustainability and they want to peak really high. And you asked the question, who's going to be the next Diego Cartaya? My question is, who's going to be the next Gavin Lux? And what I mean by that is Gavin Lux wasn't a bust at all by any stretch.
Right.
But he was still a below average big leaguer for the Reds last year. He was a negative WAR player, a below average bat. And he did not live up to being the top prospect in baseball and the Dodgers' top prospect. And you probably held on to him for way too long when you could have possibly flipped him. I mean, his stock had kind of already dropped, but it's tough, right? Is someone like a Dalton Rushing, a guy who I believe in as a player? I think what makes me believe in him is when he makes contact and when he's right, it's extremely hard contact. And I think you look at what's in between the years for Gavin Lux and what's in between the years of Dalton Rushing. I like Dalton Rushing. He's got all the intangibles, the character, the mental toughness, and he's a big time leader. I'm not saying Gavin Lux isn't, but I think that it's a strength that it's so overwhelming for Rushing that you have to have confidence in him. But it just kind of makes you wonder, like, is he a guy that's a top 15 catcher? Is he a backup catcher? I think that's his floor, obviously. Is he a guy that just will never get the requisite experience on this team to truly develop into what he's capable of being? And I think that's kind of the big question for me, because you got Will Smith and you just signed him to a $140 million extension. He's an all-star. And the thing about Will Smith is he's not going to listen to you if you say, hey, Will, go to third. Hey, Will, go to like he's the catcher. So Dalton Rushing's the one for me that I almost
that ship sailed.
Yeah.
With Will Smith. You could have done that 5 years ago. It's too late.
So what do you think the plan should be for Rushing?
So he starts a little less than 30, call it 50 games at catcher, which gives him, that's 200 plate appearances at least. And then he starts 30 to 40 games in left. I know it's the question. And then he starts maybe 10 to 15 games or more at first. Get Freddie off his feet. And that gets him about 400 plate appearances. If they're not willing to do that, though, I just don't think it's fair to him to keep him keep him around, because the dude's ready to play. And if we really didn't trade him for Garrett Crochet in 2024, then dang if you're not going to play him.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I was pushing for them to make that trade, even though I really like Dalton Rushing, and that's just because if you have a chance at a top 5 starting pitcher, all bets are off. I mean, unless you got Clayton Kershaw down there cooking, simmering, then all bets are off. And I think for Dalton Rushing, you're kind of looking at that too. It's like, hey, because he's going to he's going to thrive in the show because of his bat. It's never going to be about his defense. So you need him to at least be a plus with the bat and see if he can handle all those different positions. And it's just kind of a complicated thing to do, to have such a veteran-laden team, but develop a young player in such a complicated way. Do they want that headache? Because we saw what happens when you just have a competent, really good backup catcher in Ben Rortvedt. They can just kind of get the job done, right? I mean, it's a very fascinating question that I think is something that they have to probably have on their list of kind of the top 5 to 10 things we need to focus on this offseason, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I do think, though, that there's a lot of value in Rushing because you're not over a 162 game season. You're not going to start Rortvedt 50 times. You know, he's not going to. You can't, because you're missing too much bat. That's why they didn't do it with Barnesy. You needed to have a threat like Rushing to be in there to go and say, hey, okay, we're going to sit Will, and it's going to be good for him. And it was. I think it's at the end of the day, it was good for him. And then you're getting Rushing in there, but it's not enough.
And that's in theory, though, right? Because Rushing hit 204, 63 OPS plus. He was a well below average bat, but how much do you chalk that up to just not getting regular at bats? I remember talking to him during the season, and he was telling me about the traject machine and getting at bats on the field when players are rehabbing. That's not the atmosphere of Dodger Stadium or an away stadium. You're not seeing big league pitching on a regular basis. It's got to be a tough situation for him. So, and I think too to consider about Rushing too, Tim, what I ask you is, where do you think other teams are even placing his value right now? Right, a former top prospect has gotten some opportunities, but his I mean, it's kind of, when you drive that car off the lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of loses a little bit of value no matter what.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a really good analogy. The car has been driven off the lot, so it does. You're not getting crochet. I mean, or a crochet type guy.
Yeah.
But I still think you're going to get some good talent, especially for a team that really, a younger team that doesn't have a real catcher. And plus, he does have those leadership intangibles. When you're talking about the moving positions and all that and doing all that. If anyone can handle it, it's rushing. Like I said, that anytime you talk to him, man, you're getting he's just so good. You can see the baseball brain in him. I love it.
I agree with you 100%. I will say, if I'm Dalton Rushing and we're midway through next season and I'm just catching and you're just using me periodically at other positions, doesn't feel like there's a point of emphasis to really develop me. My frustration level has got to be really high because he screams starting catcher. I think that he could potentially be like the Michael Bush of the catchers from the Dodgers, right? Where goes to another team, you see him make an all-star team. Like, I just have a lot of belief in him.
Yeah, I do too. And I could see that. I wish even with Rushing with the 1 out of 3, man, at least sometimes start him 2 games in a row. He never had that opportunity. Of course, until Will Smith goes down, and then what? The next day, Rushing goes down. It's like, gosh, that poor guy couldn't catch a break. That was his opportunity.
Exactly, and that's the other thing too. That's the other kind of talking point to talk you into making sure Rushing's on the roster, because all of a sudden Will Smith can have an injury and he can be down for an extended period of time. So it's another reason why I think he'll remain on this roster, barring a major player available that they'll go out there and get. Now, Josue DePaula, do you think late next season there's a chance he comes up against an opportunity and has a chance to be something in 2025, or you think it's 2026? You think more 2027?
I'm still thinking more 2027. One of the reasons is because I think the Dodgers have kind of slow rolled him a bit, which I've actually been against. I think the guy thrives on challenges. But however, we are starting to see the ball's getting hit harder. He's getting bigger, not taller, but strength wise. I mean, he's 21, right? Yeah. I mean, he's still a young, or 20. Yeah, he's super young. This guy's so young, and he's still, growing and all that type of stuff. But you can't teach the one thing that he's got, which is the amazing batter's eye. And I do talk about it, compare him to Juan Soto in that way. Now, the production's not there yet, but I do think they need to push him. I would like to see him get to that point where they're going, hey, we'd like to, we want to challenge him. Like, remember in 2024 when they threw Rushing into left field because they're going, hey, there might be a chance we might need this guy. So I'd like to, if they push him, but he finally got put up into AA last year and was hurt the whole time. He had a rough time with it because he was hurt. He was just out. He missed a lot of time. Didn't really get his thing. So he's going to start in AA again. And hopefully they get him up to AAA. They got to push this guy. I'm a believer in the hit tool like crazy.
So the hit tool, the ability to see the baseball, it's very advanced for someone his age. The knocks on him, though, not the greatest runner, not the greatest defender, I guess. But I mean, what's your evaluation of his defense?
Yeah, his defense, it's secondary to him, it seems like. But when he was at Rancho, he'd go, "Hey, watch this." You talk about his defense. He said he had a throw. It was a throw, with a little bit of a running start, but it was over 100 miles an hour from the outfield. So he was having that tracked, and then dude stole like 30 bases last year. So people are like, he's looking at Fangraphs. Don't even look at. They said he's a 40 hit tool. Absolutely insane. He's a 70 hit tool, folks. But they had him ranked low. It's like he actually can run. I think he gets a little some credit because he's a tall guy, and maybe they think he doesn't look fast. But hey, I'd like to see him on the. With the advanced information to see what he can really do. I think he can work on some defense a little bit. Like some guys say, I didn't come to play no defense.
Yeah, I think that's the case for him. It is the, hey, I do what I do really, really good, that I get the benefit of the doubt, and you look past defense. It's just a reason. It's just the way I get on the field. But he looks to me like you say, I mean, just from a size standpoint, that he's still almost growing. I mean, he doesn't turn 21 till March, so he's still probably growing into his body a little bit. It will get a little more mature from that standpoint. I'm pretty sure he's putting a lot of work in from that area as well. So I expect him to improve from that aspect. The boomer bust guy, as far as the Diego Cartaya type, a guy that, I mean, we all thought Cartaya, a lot of people thought he was going to be a dude, right? Because of the power. What do you think of Zaire Hope as far as someone that he's got that raw power, he's got the plus speed, is extremely aggressive at the plate, and sometimes you see some miss there. Do you think there's a lot of variance with Zaire Hope?
Yeah, he's definitely one of him and Soroto are two of the best athletes that are out there. With Hope, yeah, the contact rate was, it went, I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. I'm about to say a number, but I think it's for someone else. But it was in the 60s, I believe. And that's not good. And he is, no, some of this is, well, what do they want him to do? What do the Dodgers tell him to do? They tell him, hey, we want you to sell out for power, or what? But he's got a really good arm, got really good speed. He has hit for average, and he does crush the ball when he hits it. So I think there's a lot there, but yeah, the contact rate is that one thing. And I think if you were to look at some of these players to go boom or bust, if we don't see creeping up of contact rates with him or guys like Emil Morales, I mean, they're really talented, but they got to get the contact rate up for them to really be able to go to that next level and dominate, because they will start getting exposed like Cartaya did. It still breaks my heart about Diego, man. I mean, we both like that dude a lot. Good dude.
Man, I'm still surprised. Wasn't lack of it's most of these guys fail. It's the truth of this all is most of them fail, and it's the harsh reality of this. But would you include someone like a Hope for a Buxton? No brainer.
Well, I think, yeah. I mean, you have to, because he's still 2-3 years away, and the window. Hey, Freddie Freeman might be gone by then.
Yeah,
Mookie Betts may be a part-timer by then. So I know, anything I qualify here, folks, it ain't personal. Love you guys. It'll give you an opportunity if you get traded, but the Dodgers have to be thinking about winning more World Series right now. And I think, and like you said, there is a balance. So they're not going to go and trade, most of their top prospects are outfielders. They're not going to trade all 5 of those hot, or 5 or 6, 7. It's huge. It's a big number now. Thank you, Boston. They're not going to go trade all of them, but they will probably have to trade some of them, because it takes quality to get quality. And we know that teams are reluctant to trade with Friedman and company because, let's just use Matt Beatty for River Ryan as an example of what the Dodgers can do when they make their trade. So they're going to be wanting more. We saw that or heard about that with Cleveland for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Tibbs and Dustin May. I mean, there's so many examples recently of just taking advantage, and they have the eye for talent. They know they have the sense. I mean, outside of the Yordan Alvarez of the world, we know what happened there. They kind of know who to keep, who not to keep. But as far as just the narrative, we keep going back to it as far as just the window and the win nowness of it. Look, I wish this team was a bunch of guys that were 25 and 26, and we could say, oh, we got 2, pump the brakes, rebuild, just kind of replenish a little bit. Don't be overly aggressive, and then we'll win a couple more in 4 or 5 years. But that's just not the case with this team, and that's really never going to be the case, especially for agency, with all the uncertainty with the CBA and whatever kind of lies in front. I mean, the dynasty is now. They're called dynasties because you've win them close together or in consecutive fashion, and to do that, you got to kind of look past some of these other guys. But give me your surprise, kind of quick, like biggest riser. Like, who's the name that comes to mind when you look at the system? Kind of one of the big risers right now that kind of gets you excited.
Man, ooh. I tell you, it's one of those guys they got in the Hunter Fiducia trade this Aronofsky guy. The dude just, oh my gosh, he went and just dominated at Great Lakes. Got a cup of coffee at Tulsa. I mean, that, geez Louise, that people are gonna lie. Nobody had heard of that guy when that trade was made.
Yeah.
You know how it is. As soon as someone comes out, they go and look at Baseball America from 3 years ago to find out when they are drafted what they're like. We know how that goes. I've done it. The grift is strong with me. But yeah, you just got to go, what the heck? And because there's no way that the Reds make that trade knowing what he was about. It was for, what was it, Zach Littell, Mark Littell? I can't remember the guy's first name. How about that? And for Hunter Fiducia, I call it the Ben Rortvedt trade still, no matter what, because dude's a legend and the World Series champion. But Aronofsky, man, that's the guy that's like, oh my gosh, what did we get?
Yeah, I mean, you see clips of him like pumping 101, that slider, the spin, the upside. You get Gervais in that deal as well. Yeah, there's so many guys that's what I think makes it really fun. It's kind of weird for me a little bit, like when I see a guy like Mike Sirota, guy they get in the Reds trade with Gavin Lux, is like we've seen them kind of want to trade for guys just to trade them again. We saw it with Josiah Gray and Jeter Downs when they traded that big salary dump with the Reds in 2018. So you always kind of wonder, is it like kind of like a house flippers thing for this Dodgers organization and some of these young prospects? But the truth is, for any of these guys, look, there's only a finite amount of spots. And even if you do get your opportunity, you better be good right out of the gates. It's just so tough for young players to make it up and establish himself with this team. I mean, guys that, even a guy like James Outman, third in the Rookie of the Year voting, looked like defensively he could absolutely do it. It just, could the offense be anywhere as good as it was his first year? The dude was unplayable at one point, right? And it just, baseball is such a hard game, man. But Tim, before we get you out of here, and I'm going to have you on multiple times this offseason, we'll go deeper into the prospects. I don't want to touch everything on this first time having you on. By the way, if you're watching here on Dodgers Dugout Live, you're listening on the podcast, go to YouTube and subscribe to Tim's channel, essential for all Dodgers fans, Blue Madness. The Blue Madness, go check that out. And I love it too. He's got the shades on, late night Dodgers baseball talk, Dodger talk after dark, which is awesome. But Tim, before we get you out of here though, give me your semi-realistic Dodgers offseason.
Oh man, I want to go hard to go home, man. So let me do my fantasy real quick just to get it out of the way. Edwin Diaz, Bo Bichette, my second baseman, and Byron Buxton, my center fielder. That's what I really want. Realistically, let's get one of those three guys I just mentioned. I think Bo Bichette's the hardest one, obviously, but that dude can hit. My gosh.
I think going hard on, I want to go harder on Bo, but it just feels like if the Blue Jays don't bring him back, it'd be such a huge mistake.
I agree with that. That would absolutely be huge, especially when you gave that contract to Dylan Cease, who I know, hey, the stuff, don't read ERA. I do look at results sometimes because they actually do matter, especially when we beat that snot out of that dude multiple times. He's just, yeah. But yeah, I think Diaz is if we get Diaz, I'm pretty darn happy, and Teo and left, and then we work from there. And I know the Dodgers don't want to make trades in July, but it's probably, depends on what they want to do. Do they want to give Ryan Ward a chance? Is that real? Do they want to put Rushing? Do they want to give him real playing time? So those are things, but give me Diaz, man.
Yeah, give me a thought on Ryan Ward. I think it's a fast. I like the fact that Gomes at least has it out in the open that he's on their radar as far as their plan for 2026. And we know how good he's been at the minor league level. There's always this question, is he a 4A guy? Could he hit this level? Do you think that he has the talent to be a plus hitter in the show?
That's a tough one because, if he had it, I think the Dodgers would have had him up earlier. That's what I look at, but I'm going, but at least now they found something that they like. because I just think that guy has been treated so wrongly. He should have been either traded or moved up a while. He should have, with Conforto, come on, he should have gotten a chance, but he didn't. I'm hopeful that he gets a chance. That's all I care about for that guy. I don't know if they're gonna put him in left field. What are you doing? You platooning him with Teo? I don't think so. So I think he's still available for trade, but maybe they did have issues with left-handed bats coming off the bench last year.
They did, and he would be a natural platoon with Brendan Donovan if they would make that trade with the Cardinals, which could be kind of interesting as well. But yeah, Ryan Ward definitely is going to hopefully look. What does Dave Roberts say? Baseball rewards you. Hey, he deserves a reward from the baseball gods and opportunity. So I hope that he gets that in 2026, whether that be with the Dodgers or another team.
Yeah,
that dude deserves a chance in the show. He has put in the work, and now he's got to see if he can get it done. Because you can say anything you want. I can say anything I want. He can say anything you want. Anyone can say everything until you get 300, 400, 500 plate appearances. No one knows. So yeah, hopefully he's awarded that.
I know. I really hope so. And by the way, Brendan Donovan, man, I like the contact and walk rates. Very good. I like that player too.
So what was your reaction when they actually got the final out of the World Series? Were you like screaming? Were you like relieved?
My wife and I both, we both let out a yell. I mean, I had spent 24 hours drinking a bunch of copium because going, well, at least we won last year. You know, I mean, how many we were this close to losing. We were Miggy Rowe. I mean, my gosh, we were so close to losing so many times, and that was so rough. But it was also, I got to be honest, it is the most rewarding one because it was the hardest one by far.
You know, it's so funny. I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks is that it almost makes me feel a little sad because I just don't think we're going to top that World Series. I just don't think from the moments that they had defensively, offensively, being in an 11 count on the mat with their Miguel Rojas home run. Look, the great thing about baseball is once you think you've seen everything, you see something you haven't seen before. But that to me was peak Dodger baseball. And I agree with you. It was the most satisfying one. I think for me, it was the most satisfying one because Will Klein, Miguel Rojas, right? Like Justin Robleski. But then it's Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto. It's like, and then everything in between. So it was great because if the Dodgers had won, it was like Shohei hit 50 home runs a game and Yamamoto pitched 3 perfect games and all this stuff. And the role players didn't have to do anything. It would be like, oh, they just bought that thing and blah, blah, blah. But I think that you win and you kind of have proof of concept to the rest of the league. Like, hey, the Mets don't do this. Even though you think they could, they can't. It requires evaluation, buy-in, and players just believing in this team. And my favorite thing, too, is I love when Dave Roberts says this because there's no way to prove it, but I believe it. Something special happens when you put on that Dodgers uniform. And who knows what it is, but I truly believe that. So I think that's something that we saw on display in this World Series.
And remember, when I qualified that how it felt like the best, I was in New York for Game 5 last year. That's how impactful this one. I watched this from my living room.
Wow.
And it was just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. What a relief. But
listen to us spoiled Dodgers fans. They're all great, man. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. But Tim, we'll check in with you very soon here. I'm going to the winter meetings next week. We'll check with you and get back, talk all prospect stuff too. Love having you on here. You're a big fan favorite in the comment section, but you guys know where to find Tim Rogers. I know you do, but that's going to do it. All right, Tim, check me later. Enjoy the rest of your offseason and enjoy the holidays, my man.
Yep, you too, man.
And we are back. Yes, Tim and I, we can go on forever. We need the pitch clock, but just for talking Dodger baseball. But yes, we talked a lot about Byron Buxton. Talked a lot about Byron Buxton, but there was a recent report about Byron Buxton today from Ken Rosenthal that indicates that the Minnesota Twins are going to try to contend. They're going to try to win their division. Ken Rosenthal reported the club plans to hold on to trade candidates Byron Buxton, Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez, and it was made pretty clear from Byron Buxton during the season that he has a no-trade clause and he didn't want to be moved. So things are still fluid. Might not be moved. Probably won't be moved at this point. But the Dodgers still need an outfielder. Jarren Duran, as Tim Rogers pointed out, he was really good defensively in 2024. It was 10 outs above average in center field. I would definitely consider trading for Jarren Duran. I don't know if the Red Sox want to keep trading with the Dodgers because they keep ending up on the wrong side of those deals, but Jarren Duran is right up there. Luis Robert Jr. is still a name I'm considering. Yes, he's a below-average bat. It's only 28. He was 7 outs above average as a center fielder. They need a true center fielder. And when it comes to Bellinger, Tucker, and Bichette, the 3 big free agents, give me Bichette at second base, even over Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker. That's how much he rakes. So that's where I'm at with that. And we got some comments down below. We'll do a super quick 7th inning stretch because you guys are rocking with us on a Friday night here at Dodgers Nation on Dodgers Dugout Live.
The 7th inning stretch.
Wow, Bilal cases. I agree, D-Mac. We agree on something. I love that. Luis Robert Jr. is worth a flyer. Yeah, we'll talk some more about him. I think that the upside play is certainly there, getting him into this Dodgers organization. Look what it did. Michael Kopech, he wasn't good. Dodgers made him a valuable piece of their 2024 run. I absolutely would consider that. And if you're going to knock at Edwin Diaz and you're going to spend some money, hey, Bo Bichette at second base, that would solve a lot of their offensive problems that we saw in the postseason. He does bring a different bat. We saw that big 3-run shot he hit in Game 7. So give me Shohei Bichette. I think it's going to take a lot to pry him away from Toronto. But what if they end up with Kyle Tucker? They're going to sign Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette? If he's up for grabs, hey, he feels like a Dodger. We talked about some of these guys not feeling like Dodgers. Bo Bichette, he's got the name cachet. He's got the vibe, the style. I think a style of play that I think would play up with the Dodgers, and it would help them get a little younger too. Justin says, D-Mac, we should give Kyle Tucker an opt-out after years 6 and 7, front load the deal. That would be the sweet spot for sure. Absolutely. I mean, if it gets to that point, then I would say the Dodgers are in a pretty good, you would say that you have to feel like they have a pretty decent shot. If you're talking 6 years, front loading, opt-outs, I just think that Kyle Tucker is going to get at least one team. It's like when Trey Turner signed with the Phillies. I think that Kyle Tucker is in the same tier as a Trey Turner type of guy. When Carlos Correa hit his first free agency, he was a little different because I think that teams see the body of work with Kyle Tucker, even with the injuries. And I'm not so sure one really good year with the opt-outs is going to make his market explode or give him to $400 or $500 million. I think kind of he is what he is, which is a really, really good player that's not necessarily an MVP candidate. That's not, well, I mean, who knows? I mean, he could be, I mean, not with Judge and Shohei certainly, but he is a guy that is really good, not lead to anything, but he would rake for the Dodgers. I certainly believe that. But I veer on the side of offense. I really do. And then if Bo Bichette's on your team, if Mookie's bat is down, you're not feeling it as much if his offense does what it did last year, where missed a lot of time with that PCL strain and still almost finished with the most hits in Major League Baseball. So, yeah, he had a lot of played a lot less games than Arise and Bobby Wood Jr. and finished with almost the same or more hits. But all right, guys, we're going to be back tomorrow. I'm going to preview the winter meetings. I'm leaving Sunday night, Orlando, Monday, Tuesday. Try to give you guys the scoops. We'll talk to Andrew Friedman. We'll talk to Dave Roberts. Things will start to heat up. It's starting to heat up a little bit. It's at a little dim switch. You're kind of dimming it. The light's kind of coming on. This is the quiet before the storm for sure. So stay locked in here. And we're running out of time. So let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
All right, today for the walk-off, Miguel Rojas. He had a message for Dodgers Nation. This was posted on the Dodgers official Instagram account. Here's his reaction to re-signing with the team.
Hey, what's up, Dodger fans? I'm so excited to be back for next year, what will be the last year of my playing career. And I can't wait to play in front of you all once again at Dodger Stadium every single night. with one goal on our mind, which is winning another championship and being able to three-peat in front of you all. Thank you very much for the support throughout the years, and I can't wait to see you all in spring training.
Get used to it. He's a Dodgers legend. He's going to be a part of this franchise for a long time. Scout, front office, player development, manager, who knows where he ultimately ends up after his next gig. But Miguel Rojas is an absolute Dodgers legend, and he said it right there. Three-peat for LA. We got to get something clever. I'll start working my magic on something, but hey, get it in your minds. 2 is great. It's great to go back-to-back. Three-peat's on a whole nother level. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and if you want to support every single episode, smash that like button and drop a comment down below. Do me another favor, too. Enjoy your weekend. Watch some Dodgers highlights for me. Watch Miggy Rose home run. Watch Smiths. Watch Yambo, the double play. Keep reliving this thing because it is not going to get old anytime soon. Appreciate every single one of you out there, all the day ones, all the people that have been here since 2019, 2020, almost in the big 2026. Kind of insane to think about that. All right, guys, talk to you tomorrow. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.